This is the all-new Renault 4 E-Tech Electric. It's a modern take on one of Renault's most iconic cars built for modern life. And I've got to say, I really like the direction that Renault are going in right now. I've been really impressed with pretty much every Renault that I've driven recently. I think that they're really nailing the design, feel thoroughly thought through, and the value for money is just incredible. The name matters here too, because the original Renault 4 was never meant to be flashy. It was meant to be useful. Back in the early 1960s, the Renault 4 became a proper everyday hero. Renault built over 8 million of them, and it became a global icon because it just worked for people. Renault calls this the most versatile electric car in the B segment. It sits just above the Renault 5 E-Tech. Think of it like the Capture to the Clio. Same basic foundations, but more space, more practicality, and more of an all-rounder. If you're new here, I'm Ben, and we regularly upload videos of some of the latest cars to hit the UK roads. So please, hit that subscribe button, and let's get right into it. Starting at the front, the first thing that grabs you is the face, which some say does look a little bit like a raccoon, which is kind of cute. The lighting looks great. It's got that modern confidence that Renault seem to be putting through all their vehicles right now, but with a proper nod to the classic car. On the higher trims, you get this distinctive illuminated front end with the continuous light signature and Renault's logo sitting right here in the center, which does illuminate and looks great at night. It's a clever way of making it feel retro and futuristic at the same time. I also like the stance. It's chunky, it looks a little bit more rugged than the Renault 5 and just gives it that nice crossover SUV feel. We get 18-inch diamond cut alloy wheels. Even the entry-level models get 18-inch alloy wheels as standard, which I think is a great move because it gives the car a proper grown-up look. Along the doors, we've got these running bars down here, which just break the door up a little bit so it's not just a complete slab. And then we've got this protective strip down the bottom here too, and I'm loving the fact we get side steps here. We also have running bars along the top, so you can put things like bike racks and top boxes on here. Now, one of my favorite things is the fact that this isn't just a crossover with a badge stuck on it. They have actually given this car a real nod to the original classic with this rear quarter panel window here. Nice little touch there. The rear lights are another highlight. They're a modern LED light, and the layout and shape clearly reference the old three-part style from the classic, but just made much more current. Now, let's talk about the boot. We've got an electric powered tailgate here, and this is where the Renault 4 really starts to separate itself from the Renault 5, with a boot capacity of 420 litres. Now, that's really strong for the size of car. And you've also got a really low loading lip, which makes a huge difference when you're loading in heavy shopping bags, buggies, and anything else. Under the floor, there's also an additional 55 litres of storage space, which is perfect for keeping charging cables out of the way. These are the sort of practical details that I love, including things like these little pockets here in the side and the straps to tie things down with. Now, if you fold the seats down, it goes up to 1,405 litres, which makes it perfect for family life, trips to things like IKEA, without having to try and play Tetris trying to load things in. Jumping into the driver's seat, first impressions are really positive. There are a few different interior vibes depending upon the trim level. The upholstery and materials feel really considered. I'm loving this detailing on the seats, especially with the nice yellow touches here. Storage, layout and usability are clearly priorities. The infotainment system is based around Renault's Open R Link system. You've got a 10.1-inch central touchscreen across the range, and on the Techno and Iconic you get Google built in, which gives you Google Maps with EV route planning and access to apps through Google Play. You've still got physical controls where you want them, and the car doesn't feel like it's asking you to do all the admin while driving. The driving display does depend on the trim. The entry comes with a 7-inch driver display, while the Techno and Iconic step up with a 10-inch digital driver display. I will be honest, in the rear, we don't have tons of room. There is more space than in the Renault 5. We've definitely got more headroom here, which is great, and it just does feel a little airier. Now, we do have 3 ISOFIX points. We've got one either side on the outside seats, and we have one in the front seat. The Iconic and Techno trims both get USB-C ports here in the rear as well, which is a nice little touch, especially for keeping kids entertained and keeping their iPads charged on longer journeys. It does feel very comfortable here, but like I say, not the most legroom if you were perhaps a driver of around 6 foot. Not much else to say. The Renault 4 is really punchy. This model we have has got the 110 kilowatt motor, and that delivers about 150 horsepower. So off the line, this is very quick, and in and around town, it's great. What I like the most about this car is the fact you have got full one pedal driving. So we've come now to a complete standstill at these traffic lights just by lifting the foot off the accelerator, and you can obviously decrease the intensity of that by just slowly raising your foot off of the gas rather than pulling off straight away. Otherwise you do feel like it's gonna come to a complete standstill quite rapidly. You've also got these flappy panels on the back of the steering wheel, which are great for adjusting the intensity of that deceleration with the regenerative braking, but that won't then bring you to a complete standstill. Another great feature of the Renault 4 is that it does come with auto hold. So when you are stationary, you can relax and rest and take your foot off the pedals, sit back until you're ready to go again. I think the suspension setup on this car is perfect for urban environments. And if you do then take it onto the twisty roads as well, you have got that stability. You don't feel like you're going to roll over. It's got that sporty hatch feel to it, but it's not a sporty hatch. So I do really like this car. I'm impressed with how it handles and performs. In terms of the steering, it's quite solid, but it's light enough that it makes it easy to maneuver in and around town. In terms of how it sounds, because of that nice suspension and the sound dampening in the car, it is quite a quiet environment in here. Don't get me wrong, it's not a luxury premium car with double glazed windows or anything like that, but it's still exceptionally quiet. And being all electric, there is no engine noise there, and road noise is kept to a minimum. Renault with its open R-Link system is very easy to use, especially while driving. It's not overly distracting, which is a huge benefit. Now, it is a bit of a hybrid system here. We've got some buttons that allow us to access some of the key features of the climate control system in the central console here, and then the rest is on screen, but it's very easy to navigate and it's always visible, even when things like Apple CarPlay are enabled. Flicking through as well, I do like the fact that we've got things like Google Maps integrated as standard with this car. It just means that it calculates your battery percentage upon arrival, so you can then add in charging stops en route. So that is great for an EV and does make that transition for those people who are new to EVs a much smoother and simplified experience. When we're on motorways and dual carriageways, we do have things like the adaptive cruise control with lane keeping assist, and that's great for a nice relaxed driving experience. We also have speed limiters for when we're in and around towns trying to keep to those 20-mile-an-hour speed limits. We've got lots of different driving modes. Eco mode for the best battery range consumption. Then we can flick through on this multi-sense to go into comfort mode. We've then got sport mode, which just makes it that little bit punchier. Personal mode, where we can set the car up exactly how we'd like with the difference in steering, throttle response, etc. The choice is yours. And then we get these ambient lights throughout the cockpit, which you can sync up either to the drive mode. So I'm now in personal, so I've got this nice purple glow, which I appreciate you probably can't see because it's bright out at the moment. On our driver's cockpit, I can actually flick through different screen modes as well. So I can have my Google Maps on display, or I can go for a much more simplified version of the screen, just showing me things like the speed, battery, and my miles per kilowatt hour. There's all the usual driver assistance and safety features on this car. One of the key things Renault are all about is safety, and we have this, it's like a Renault shield around the car, which there's a button for it. You can turn it on or off here, and what that does is it not only gives you all your, you're getting too close to something, but if someone were to jump out in front of you, then it would activate that emergency braking. This is a very nice car to be in, especially on a journey. I've got all these nice conveniences. I've got things like my wireless charging pad here. I can have my music. The sound system is pretty good. We've got things like this nice little tray here, and underneath that we then have 2 cup holders as well. So plenty of places to put all your bits, all within easy reach. As a driver's car, this is a very good car and it does handle those bumps and potholes exceptionally well. Like the look of this car? Head to rivervale.co.uk to check out the latest contract hire and lease deals available on this and many other makes and models. Browse offers, filter by budget and see what's in stock for quick delivery. You can tweak your mileage, add optional extras, view the full spec and price it up in seconds. rivervale.co.uk. So let's talk versions. In the UK, there are 3 trim levels. You've got Evolution, Techno and Iconic, and pricing starts from just $26,995 on the road for the Evolution. And then we step up to $28,995 for Techno and $13,995 for the Iconic. The Evolution is your solid, well-equipped entry point. You get 18-inch alloy wheels, keyless entry, climate control, and the 10-inch Open R-Link touchscreen with wireless phone mirroring. You get rear parking sensors and a rear parking camera. Techno is the one I think that most people will probably land on. You get the added extras like Google built-in, wireless phone charging, adaptive cruise control with stop and go, more parking sensors, you get the nice ambient lighting, plus you get paddles for regenerative braking, plus the one-pedal driving and vehicle-to-load capability. The Iconic is the kind of full-fat version, you could say. You get things like the hands-free power tailgate, heated seats and steering wheel, extra safety features like blind spot warning and safe exit alert, plus more premium finishes inside. Now, for battery and range, the key setup is that it's a 52 kilowatt hour battery with a 150 horsepower motor and a WLTP range of up to 247 miles. Charging is decent for the class, with up to 100 kilowatt DC rapid charging. Renault quotes 15 to 80% in just 30 minutes. For colours, Renault are keeping it nice and simple. You can choose from Glacier White, Urban Grey, Diamond Black, Carmine Red, Cumulus Blue, and an all-exclusive new colour called Haute de France Green. And if you go for the Techno or Iconic trims, you can also choose the two-tone contrasting roof with body paint. So who is it aimed for? It's aimed for people who like the Renault 5 but need more day-to-day practicality, more boot, easier loading, more flexible cabin, more of a family-friendly shape. Renault even positions this as the broader audience car, designed to bring more people into EVs, not just urban drivers. So the 2 main competitors in the UK market for the Renault 4 are things like the Ford Puma Gen E and the Mini Aceman. So why would you pick this over those? Well, this has got proper character, the interior feels thoroughly designed and thought through, the boot and usability are right up there for the class. Now, why would you pick this over the Renault 5? Well, that's simple. If you want style and mainly city driving, the Renault 5 is hard to ignore. If you want something that still looks cool, but is easy to live with day to day, then the Renault 4 just makes sense. It's got more practical boot space, more practical shape, and more flexibility for family life and longer trips. And without going full SUV, it's just a nice size. So what's the takeaway? I really like this car. Renault has managed to bring back an iconic name in a way that feels genuine and not gimmicky. It's got the charm and design nods that make it feel special, but it's also properly practical with that 420 litre boot and a really usable cabin. It's punchy enough, easy to drive, and it feels like Renault has focused on the stuff that actually matters. If you're thinking about making the switch to electric and want something compact but not compromised, the Renault 4 E-Tech is well worth a look. And if you want to explore personal or business lease options, you can check out Rivervale for the latest deals, stock availability and quick delivery options. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. Please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe so you can watch more of our upcoming car reviews. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.